everyone seems to be connecting the Niners to Darnold, like all over the league, nationally, in New York, around here. So this morning, I'm seeing Rich Cimini in New York saying he's predicting Niners trade a second and a third for Sam Darnold. How you feel about that, Jason? And how you doing?
I'm good, Grant. Yeah. So Rich Cimini, actually, to give you a little bit of background, because I live in the area, he's actually pretty tapped in as far as the Jets guy. So he's not a guy that's just like, he's not Manish Mehta, who's somebody who doesn't have credentials and just lies. Like, this is Rich Cimini. So Rich Cimini, if he's saying this, he's heard this from somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Do I feel comfortable with it? I don't. That's a lot. And I know that second and a third, those aren't, as valuable as first, but that's a lot, man. Look, here's the thing.
I think it's a lot.
Yeah, here's the thing. With Darnold, it's complicated because I sent out a tweet. I spent a lot of time just watching a lot of Darnold throws because, again, this is part of what we're doing at this point. So if a trade does happen, I have to be able to analyze it and be objective, right? Mm-hmm. He has dazzling throws.
He does.
Like, seriously dazzling throws.
His highlights, you can put them together, and there's a bunch of wild plays where he's moving and on the run,
So first I start with the good throws. And I'm like, okay, you take notes on those and you say, okay, this is good, this is good, this is good. But then you get to the bad throws. Whoa.
Yes.
So the bad throws are decision-making. And something that I did when I was watching the tape with Vish, actually, because we sat together and we watched it, because I always like to get, I love to get a second pair of eyes on film.
Me too. Jackhammer and I do that. It's a lot of fun. What are you seeing? And you check each other's biases and all that. Yup.
Right. And he pointed to feet. So feet are cemented to the ground. The footwork is scary. The thing is he gets by on some of these dazzling throws with arm. And then sometimes he's just attached to the ground. That's scary. Now, again, the thing with Darnold is
he's still not a polished passer, right? I'm telling you.
So are you going to take a chance on the fact that you think you can unlock whatever you think you can unlock from him? Or is he damaged beyond repair? Or maybe he's just this guy. That's what makes this scenario so interesting with Darnold, because that's what people. So when people say he's an upgrade over Jimmy, I think they're taking into account potential,
right,
as opposed to what they really see. You know me, Grant.
Yeah,
I like to go with things that I know. The unknown is scary to me because I'm not good at predicting things.
Yeah. So well, let me tell you what I think about Darnold. Look, I'm not writing Darnold off for the same reason I'm not writing Josh Rosen off. We're going to talk about Rosen later. He's a kid. And he's played for a terrible organization. He gets those excuses. All I'm saying is a second and a third. I mean, Alex Smith netted the Niners a second in 2013. At that point, Alex Smith had developed into a winning quarterback. He won 13 games in 2011, and he was really playing well in 2012 before he got hurt. Darnold hasn't shown that. Darnold's still a project. He's still a total projection. So how could he be in the same ballpark in terms of what you have to give up? Second and third just seems rich. Now, if he were on the Jets practice squad and the Niners could sign him off of it the way they signed Rosen, yeah, absolutely. Maybe put him on the Niners and he improves. But my issue here is the price. And maybe that's just a Jets reporter inflating a Jets player's value and not really understanding what the guy's worth on the open. Second and a third? No.
Yeah, that's a lot, honestly. But like I said, Rich Cimini is tapped in. Like, that's somebody who's not, saying things for no reason or anything like that.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, physically talented, yes, for sure. But we all know that there's more to this position than just that, And I'm just scared that maybe Adam Gase and that offense and that Jets culture has damaged him beyond repair, like completely. But listen to this, though. Kyle Shanahan loves him. And if you need any sort of reassurance of that, just go to his press conferences right before the Jets game. That man is singing his praises in a way that I wish he would sing his own quarterback's praises almost. If you listen to what he said.
Do you remember off the top what he said?
Mobile, big arm, everything that you like, it's all there. Like, he's saying things like that. Like, I can't remember off the top of my head, but it felt like that.
I'll pull that up a little later. But Vish found a clip of Mike Shanahan on the Colin Cowherd show breaking down these quarterbacks. And I feel strongly that Mike Shanahan is basically, he and Kyle are the general manager of the 49ers. That Kyle trusts Mike's opinion on players as much or more than anyone. And remember, Mike was a vice president of player personnel for a long time. He's a general manager, so he has very definite opinions and experience. And he said about Sam Darnold, loves him. He does everything. He's an All-American guy. So yeah, it seems to me that if Mike Shanahan's enthusiastic about him, then so is Kyle Shanahan. Then again, if Kyle Shanahan's enthusiastic about Darnold, I would think that so is Robert Saleh. I mean, do you really have a life-size picture of Robert Saleh and Kyle Shanahan having a major philosophical difference on an offensive player?
No, I mean, and then just listen to what Saleh said when in his press conference. That was him. He was the same way with this praise, and he immediately, that was one of the first questions. And Saleh was just out there like, I love everything this kid can bring to the table. Again, I think his thought process is the same as everybody else. Get this guy in a Shanahan system where you can get him some open throws and maybe you'll unlock something with him. And I think that's what Saleh was thinking. Saleh didn't take this job without the idea of knowing that Darnold's probably going to be the guy, right? He was prepared for Darnold to be the guy. Whether he ends up being the guy or not is different. But worst comes to worst, Saleh took this job thinking as a safety net, Sam Darnold's going to be my guy. And you have to think about it in that terms because he actually really, really praised him a ton. When I heard that, I was like, man, this isn't coach talk, right?
Because Big Gold Nuggets in here saying it's coach talk. No, because Kyle doesn't talk that way about Jimmy. He doesn't talk that way about every quarterback. Only the ones he really likes. He wears his heart on his sleeve when it comes to his feelings about players. It's obvious.
Yeah. And yeah, of course. And like I said, you have to think, okay, even if you go through your interviews and you're thinking, whatever, we're going to move this guy, you still have to have a safety net of this might be the guy anyway. And you might have to actually stick with him too. So Saleh didn't take this job thinking, yo, we're booting him. You keep his trade value up with where you're talking. But honestly, man, the way they talk about him, they both talked about him in the same way with all that sort of praise.
You think Robert Saleh in his interview with the Jets got the job by saying, yeah, my plan is to go in here and just blow it up and trade Josh. I mean, trade Sam Darnold. It seems like the way you get that job is to say, I got a plan for Sam Darnold. We can salvage Sam Darnold. Let's not just give up on this. I like him. Isn't that the kind of things that get you hired? I don't know.
Yeah.
As opposed to the guy who says, no, this sucks. Let's blow it up.
When you invest the third pick, right, you want to bring in a guy that is going to say, I'm going to fix your guy and we're going to make this work, right? Like, you don't want to say, exactly. It's not,
and I'm
coming
sure
in
what
here, we're
Saleh
starting
said
fresh.
is, hey, don't listen to these offensive coaches who say he can fix them. That's what Gase was. No, what he needs is a defense and a running game. And that's what I can bring to help him. Hey, that's the way I look at it.